And the year is ending soon, so that should be it.
When we were in the States, you know, it says Eretz Yisrael that be a surah. Eretz Yisrael is part of the surah. So we were psyched, we were geared up that the Yisur should be good here. But of course the market is so bad selling the house, so we had to.
You're telling me, right? You're telling me.
We thought we had so much Yisur in there, maybe we wouldn't have anything here, but we're not finished yet.
Then,
the beginning. זה בסדר גמור, you don't have, אתה לא צריך דואגת.
You're
going to remember this birthday. Yes, I know.
אנחנו בכיתה, ביחד.
There you go.
It's going to be my almost
The Mitchell?
Mitchell.
I felt if I start now, first all of them have a so I won't really get it.
אם יש לך בן חברים, חברות, אחד חבר, חברים. אני לא מורה, אבל אני איש מבין קצת, לא הרבה, אבל אני רוצה correct it again.
What?
You get this? I went down there to try to.
What?
Did you get it?
Yeah, I took my first check today.
Oh, you did?
לא צדקת, צודקת.
Yeah, and you went
You went to this right and kind of I went upstairs and waited for 2.5 hours. Downstairs again. She had my two
צודקת.
Ben Shalom.
צודקת.
Means that?
צודקת.
Hold on 1 second.
צודקת. Those are Shani because I'm not a Shani.
Abi, who's your shine out?
Don't pronounce it Shani because I am
So I saw her 2 times. She went in there and now getting close. So I said,
I don't know what happened.
Wait a minute, can you just keep it down a minute? I only have one phone, I can't hear. I'm sorry. Oh, how are you? We're having a Dobuler wedding for my 1-year-old. And I have a household company. Yes. Okay.
I'm not supposed to get this reimbursed with all the school stuff. She's getting have to wait that.
That's very nice. What do you want? Which meal do you want? For Shabbos after Rosh Hashanah. Wonderful. I appreciate it. Okay, well speak again. I can't hear you too well. All right, take it. Thanks.
Then I went to get the rent subsidy. They said, go to make
That's the wrong place. Wrong place.
I went there. I went there. They said Kikar Shabbat. So I went to Kikar Shabbat. They said it's not here. It's Kikar Tzion. It's by the Mashgiach. I went to Yishkat to the Mashgiach here. I waited for 45 minutes.
You call.
Then they said you have to bring the work. Had to bring 34 to both, including a marriage certificate. And then we had to bring a marriage certificate. I sold her a certificate right now all the way down.
We never brought up marriage.
They want the marriage. I said, can't they run out the
You weren't getting a mistake. You were just getting your time.
I just get rent subsidy. But that's the where they send you. Where do you go?
Filled out, you get your 2 dots, 24 reverse.
So you write your little read.
Okay. Once you get that from the back, you're gonna fill out the form, blah, blah, blah. Once you get that,
Did everybody have coffee?
you get bulim, you get your bulim on the
Bulim I got. I know the bulim. I got bulim.
Stamp it on the contract. Make a copy of the contract. That you have a copy of the contract. Signed, blah, 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 which you make your rent. Give it in. My bank, I get the whole amount for the year.
So they give you the whole shot. You get three, I think, 350 shekels a month.
No, I didn't get it yet.
You didn't go to the right place.
I didn't go to, today I went, I was to the wrong place, and I didn't have it for,
Yeah, we came right over yesterday. You see, you can't do anything with that.
Then, you know what you do make a mistake? Second thing, you should go down either to Hila or sit down and down, go over step by step, all the different things. There may be things that you didn't do yet that you should be doing.
You'll get a check for $400 or something.
Did you congratulate?
I'm Israeli. I was here in 70.
And my children are Israeli.
They took away a certain amount of time on my rights. Because
What about you? What are you here?
I'm an A1.
My kids are
What's the what's all right?
Thank God to me that I can get the rights on me because he's
He's Israeli because he came from 70, so it's one of the mixed marriages that they consider. They consider mixed in this country. No, he wasn't born, but he took on citizenship in 70.
I was here for 3 months.
3 months, and his mother came and raised him back.
Fern, that's why he brought you.
You made your
You
room.
need the rights.
Established roots there.
Yeah. Then I went to Israel, came to
There
change
is no
their name,
reason
change
for us
their
not to
names.
have citizenship. We're not worried about
He
it.
was all mentioned, and they all of them brought it up.
What benefit is this?
So,
Why should I do Why should I have a vote?
my number was 817.
Why should I do
That's a 10 years, like
600.
Well, my kids
I
say,
finally, but they may want to take me 3.5 years. It was like in
The whole idea is I came here to play
what
the
they'll
one
do is, how will you?
41.
I'm not worried about it.
Find out how will you?
Some kids don't want to take it.
Good, I'll get the shake. Yeah.
Maybe not, they may not take it, they may not take it over. They won't take it over. I don't think they will. My son's gotta go first. One of his basic trainings in February, 2 months, 62 days. Judah's gotta go in February, 2 months. But I think the 5 kids, 41, they call you down. They call you down. But I think 5 kids, 41 already.
They paid him not to go. Because if he would have gone with his patrol for me,
And they spend the
then
year in
I
the
wasn't.
Tell you why. Because they travel a lot.
And again, they said, well, we can't do anything
Right,
anyway.
that's
You still have to pay it.
No.
Tourists don't have to pay.
Before you go,
We were told, I was told,
you
don't
get
think
every
about
single
that. Even if
detail
you
of what you need.
But then you don't get your rights.
And if you, if
They said the right
this
is
is
the
your,
amount.
I'm sure, do I have to
But you
do
can
this?
check this
Do I have to do this, do I have to do this, do I have to do this?
I'm in subsidy.
But you didn't ask me, when you were down there, you didn't ask me if you gotta bring this, you gotta bring that also. But you didn't ask me. That's the way this works.
How do that do that, man? Like a safer, I
It's
think.
on rental, it's not on having children.
I'm so happy I got something you can deal with, but you waited.
Did you apply for that?
Good night, please.
You can't have to do it, but you're working.
I don't know.
That's what they told me. Did they tell you that to do it? How do I know that you didn't have to work?
No, you have the 2 minutes,
Right.
but you don't have to pay. I didn't have to pay originally, when I went down 3, 4 times, because I was afraid I wasn't being covered. You say you're covered,
Oh, is this the political
yes.
And which
You're
one?
covered, I wouldn't have had to pay until January 91, which was 2 years. Now, I'm paying every month.
What does the indicator
How
indicate?
much do they give you?
What, to me? They cover it like national health insurance. It covers, not health, it covers if,
September here is September 1.
it's like social security. It's like, if a guy goes in the army for midway, That's covered as part of the payment that he gets from the government, that the boss is not paying, you that pays. It's a whole, what budget for that? Sit there, I mean, it's automatic, you must have it.
What do you have, one of those things?
That's what they got the seltzer maker.
Yeah, I know, they don't sell the seltzer.
I know, and they give, and they give it.
They don't sell it. Yeah, this is called but the Soda Stream, they don't sell any. We've won, did you get it?
No, we have all had it. My children, I think all of them.
Really? Well, God, I have not had it. Really? Back to the
That's how I do it. Well, that's the
He laughed from me. So I stopped boiling my water, and when I was working, that's when
I know, but you have to gradually, once you get used to it, you're gonna
Michigan.
For the rest of your life, you're gonna boil your water. I've been boiling it now.
Burn, I want to tell you.
Well, you're two people, so it's not a big deal, but if, I mean, you need to keep it from burning up water.
Listen, do you drink soda? So you will, is that water boil?
So Lenny, you don't know where.
Coca-Cola is not, water for this year. Same water.
No wonder I got sick from the
It does, but I have a lot of
You go to a restaurant and you drink something.
Look in my spiel.
Well, you're retired already, so I'm not sure how, when there's a pensioners already, I'm not sure what the law is. There's a booklet that
You know,
you
that's
guys
coming from.
What am I missing? What you should do is go down to the treatment and find out if you're covered or if you're not covered.
Where?
They're located not far from my office.
Something.
You would go, you know where they are? Right opposite Jesse B. King. That's where that's up to 5 years. The measure's 5 years.
I know, but it's 5 years.
It's the same as the amount of time for the Mishkan. In other words, you can have rent subsidy for 4 years, and the last year you can take a Mishkan. At least right now, I'm going to say right now, the government because
There's big talk about changes.
because, yeah, especially for Americans.
Yeah, I think we're also changing their.
The rights in terms of what you can bring in, and appliances,
Get a car on.
everything is changing, and particularly for
Well,
Americans.
this is what I would suggest to you. Because if the government doesn't have enough money to go around, maybe.
But they're not, Wisconsin's not
It's
making it.
Kentucky.
It's not a lot of money.
I don't agree. I disagree. I don't think that things are gonna happen here radically. They can't do it.
Things never happen like that.
You wake up one day and they'll say that's
I
it.
think that you're being a calamity.
80,000 Russians came so far this year, right? Up until September.
100,000.
What do you think they have?
80,000 Russians. The relative be in next year,
Yes, it could be up to
200,000 Russians. The country doesn't have enough money for rights for everybody. And they already have on the books different rules for people that come from the oppressed countries or depressed countries, whatever they call
everybody's
it.
trying to, depending on.
They changed that. That was
But
not.
I think that if they
So-
do that, it would be that they do it as of the date. They're not
They're
going
gonna take it
back to the people
Do
that.
it to what, no,
You didn't use it. They can do it ex post back. They can do it.
The minute except the what he comes to change legislation,
That's right. You get less rights.
the rest of them come without money.
So that's why they say. So they may say, all Americans who haven't taken their Mishkanto or bought their cars or bought their appliances up until now, they're only going to give you a half rights or whatever. They can do that.
No, they can't make a finance from.
I don't think so either.
If they are,
First of all, all we have from the Western countries is so lousy anyway, that this was really.
The Russians don't
Do you think that the Americans
Mr. Hahnemann, you are reasoning is faulty. I'll tell you why.
Before you
Tell you
get
what
the
the
comment,
propaganda is saying.
there is no Aliyah in America.
I want to make a comment. He spoke, I want to speak.
I didn't finish. I am not making these comments based on my own word. I am, what I am giving
Pipeline, you
over.
have a pipeline to Shemizu.
No, I have a pipeline to somebody who is in the financial department of the Sachnut, who happens to be an American, who's here for like 15 years. If I mention his name, a lot of people may know it, I won't mention his name. And he has advised Americans that he knows to be very...
Shopping. And she has Debbie on her back. Say hello.
Debbie!
Bye-bye. Debbie just got an Abu Dhabi haircut. Tried out my new Oster hair cutter. And they all got baldies, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Is that come you lying down?
I don't know.
You don't know? Let me see your Abu Dhabi haircut. Huh? You look like you're ready for the Marines.
I am.
Tell me about Eretz Yisrael. How's the absorption center?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How's the size of the apartment in the absorption center?
Small.
Uh-huh. Better than you expected? Worse than you expected?
Better.
Did you make friends there?
No, not a few.
Uh-huh.
Two of my friends that were in the absorption center, they come from Australia. They live across the street now. They moved.
They moved to Harnof across the street.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. You bad Harnof?
Enough is nice. It's much nicer than I expected. I made some friends already.
Bad Harnof? What do you not like about Harnof?
I don't know. There are a lot of hills, so you're either walking downhill or uphill. It's never straight. I mean, I'd rather it be straight.
Mm-hmm.
And in America, like, I never went on a bus in my life. Here, you always go on buses. You live by bus. And
You have friends here?
yeah, I have some friends. I have one friend. He came from Cedarhurst 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a computer, and he has a VCR, and he has a TV and everything.
Mm-hmm. How do you find Hebrew?
What do you mean, how do I find
Well,
him?
you picking up the language?
Okay.
You get help in school?
Some.
What's some?
Once, someone came in and they took me out, and they helped me a little bit. She helps me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. What do you like most about Eretz Yisrael so far?
I don't know.
How's this apartment?
Very nice. Very big.
Mm-hmm. And what do you dislike about Eretz Yisrael? Nothing.
Nothing.
Baruch Hashem. And what do you miss from back home?
Well, I miss having 2 cars. And I miss a big house, but I mean this big also. And I miss TV. I mean, there's not much time to watch TV here anyway. You eat supper, you go, you do your homework, you come home from school, and you go to sleep. Then you play around for a little bit. So that's mostly all. And I miss Bobby. I miss all of you. I'm Sharon, Izzy, Micha, Moshi, Nata, Mati, Hamdachini, and Uncle Mikey.
Hi.
How you
I'm
doing?
Maeve.
You're Labe. We didn't forget you. We know who you are.
You don't know that.
How you doing?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
You still want to say good something else? Good. Good.
How you doing?
Good something? When the person says, I'm doing good, who makes you do good? Who makes you do well? Hashem.
Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. Okay. How's school?
Good.
Good.
Hashem.
Uh-huh. What makes it good?
Well, we have a pretty good recess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty good recess. Let's see.
It's and I play with people.
Mm-hmm. You have friends?
Yeah.
A few or a lot?
A lot.
A lot? Yeah, Baruch Hashem.
Couple.
People that speak English or Hebrew?
English and Hebrew.
And Hebrew. What is that? Tell me about that boy who always asks you questions and wants to give you things.
Well, he's the one that's not my friend because he doesn't speak English.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know him. Well, he asks me questions, and I say that every word he says, I say came.
Uh-huh.
And if he says, can, can, so I say can. He says, lo, so I say, lo.
Mm-hmm. How's your teacher?
Good.
Uh-huh. And how did you like the absorption center?
Pretty good.
That famous night when you got stuck on the bus, do you remember it?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, it's kind of exciting. One day, we were coming home from the supermarket with everybody in the middle of the night on the bus. And I fell asleep. We're all in different directions. We're all in different seats. Well, then when I woke up, nobody was there except the old man and two soldiers.
What did you think?
I asked the soldier, when I fell asleep and when I woke up, my parents weren't there. Well, then, he said, this is my stop. Get off of my stop and I'll take you home. I told him where I live.
Where did you live?
In the absorption.
Uh-huh. Were you scared?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Just a little bit?
No.
You saw soldiers, so you felt comfortable?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And he took you home?
This is tape 2.
Okay. So, we left Mevaseret Zion, we moved to the apartment in Har Nov HaKavlan.
How you doing, everybody? I miss you a lot, Moshi, Milchama, Shanak, Lizzie, Jenny, and Bobby, Mikey. I miss you all very much.
You see the girls from the Bay going to and from the Shira and Mahopima, take some classes there. And further down is the new building of Sanhedri, where I hope the boys will go Metz Hashem next year. We can see it right from our apartment. The Har Nov.
It's great in Harlem.
What makes it great? Great's a big word.
Well, I have a lot of friends. There's 2 friends that live right next to me.
Mm-hmm. What are their names?
Gidon and Michael.
Uh-huh.
They're both good friends.
Mm-hmm. And what else do you like about here? Do you like Eretz Yisrael?
Yeah.
Do you like it a lot?
Yeah.
What do you like better, America or Eretz Yisrael? Why?
It has better water parks than America.
Mm-hmm. What else makes it good? We haven't been to a water park, so what makes it better?
Well, I know my way around.
You know your way around. How do you go to school in the morning and how do you get home in the afternoon?
go by bus.
Who do you go with in the morning?
No, nobody.
And who do you come home with at night? Who do you come home with in the afternoon?
Nobody.
You go on your own?
Yeah.
You take the bus on your own?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's easy. And
Yeah.
I'm way home.
Yeah? What do you have a bus pass?
Yeah, 2.
2. And what does the bus driver do with the bus pass?
Makes holes in them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you like taking the bus?
Yeah.
What else do you like?
That the bus stop isn't so far away from us.
Uh-huh. How do you like your room?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to say to the people back home?
You.
What?
When can you please send the send a note when they're coming?
You want them to come?
Yeah.
Yeah. When they come, what are you gonna do?
Me, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna play with them.
You gonna play with them? You take them around?
Yeah.
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 Okay. You think that everybody would be happy if they came here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bye bye. Say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom B'Yisrael. Hello. Hello, everybody.
How you doing, Zev?
Good. Israel's very nice.
Yeah. How come you're home today?
I can't remember. Because yesterday on Shabbos, everyone was sick and they had to go to the bathroom, and it was like a virus. First Bati had it, and then the next person, and then till the whole family had it. So on Shabbos, everyone had this virus. First one person had it, and then the next one till the whole family had it. And then on Shabbos, the whole family was in the bathroom. One person, they got out of the bathroom, then they had to go again. So my stomach still didn't feel well, and I couldn't go to school if I had to go to the bathroom every 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to stay home.
How's school?
School's good.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of kids in my class, not a lot, a couple of kids in my class made Aliyah from America, and they talk English. And the kid next to me made Aliyah 6 years ago. And in Israel they have desks that it's not a desk, it's like a table that 2 people sit at a table. So it's good for me because he gives me help. And he's right next to me. So it's a lot, it's much easier. He explains me because I have no idea what the teacher is talking about. He blabs Hebrew and I have no idea what he's saying. So
Did you start to get Hebrew help yet?
Yeah. A teacher came in. She teaches me Hebrew. It's like an opine, kind of. No, not kind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very good. It's helped me a lot. I only had it twice, but she said 6 days of school. She said she'll take, since 7th grade's very important, she'll take me 5 times a week, and maybe she'll see if she could get in 6.
You don't feel bad about school. You don't know what's happening yet. You're not upset about it. You feel okay about it.
It's not so much that I don't know what's going on. I mean, like the math, they write the examples, so the examples I know. It's just they write a question like if you have 20 stamps and you put them in an album and this and that, then I won't know it. But if they write down an example, they don't do Aleph plus Dalet. They do 5 plus whatever, and it's like it's the same letters or numbers as it's not the same numbers as in America.
Mm-hmm.
So I could do the examples, and then in history, no, it was geography. Here they call it geography.
Geographia.
It's not geographia?
No, it's geographia.
Geographia. So, and she, at the end of the lesson, she knew I didn't talk Hebrew, so at the end of the lesson, she tried to explain it to me. And my Rabbi, he's a very good by the Gemara and Chumash and stuff. So the kid next to me, he tries to tell me. He can't tell me everything, but it's very
You don't
good.
feel totally lost.
Right, it's more than I expected. I thought I'd just be sitting in class and someone talking Chinese to me, and I have no idea what they're saying, and I'm just gonna sit there till I know Hebrew in a couple of months.
How did you like the absorption center?
It was a lot better than I thought. I mean, you and Imad, that you kept on saying it's gonna be this small, broken down shack, and we go to. It wasn't even that ugly. I mean, it wasn't ugly. You had like a small backyard. It was big. I mean, it wasn't big, but it was more than what we needed. All we needed was a place to stay. We were barely in there. We were running around all over. And all we needed was a place to stay, and it was very nice. And the kitchen wasn't so small.
Mm-hmm.
It was very nice.
What was it like being among Russians and Ethiopians and Jews from all over?
Well, the Russians, we weren't really next to that many Russians. It was mostly Ethiopians next to us. There were a lot of Ethiopians. And the Russians, I didn't really see the Russians that much. Maybe they were on the other side of the absorption center. I thought the absorption center was one small block, or not even a block, just like they have a big fence, and there are houses there, but it's like a whole entire community.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just you stay there. The people over there, they get to be friends, and they've been there for a while, so everyone knows each other, and they get to be close, and it's like your home. For people that have been there for a while, some of these people, they can't afford to go places. They just stay in the absorption center. Like, that's where they plan to live because they can't go anywhere else. There are some people, are Ethiopians that have been there 6 years, and people 3 years, and they've been there, forever already. And that's where they plan to live. It's
How's
not like
Harnof?
they go in. Harnof is very good.
What do you like about it?
What?
What do you like about it?
What do I like about it? I don't think of it as that. It's just I like it. You see, wherever you want to go, you just go down the stairs and you just take the elevator. You go down the street, and on just about any street you can find a bus stop. And by the bus stop, from that bus stop, once you're on the bus, you can go anywhere. And the bus will take you there. The bus goes all over.
Where have you gone on the bus?
Where?
Mm-hmm.
By ourselves or with...
No, where do we go on the bus?
By ourselves or with you?
No, just in general. Where do you go by yourselves? Where do you go with us?
By ourselves. We go... If we have to go get some shopping done, Nima gives us a list, and me and Elon, we go to Supercell. We bring the stuff back. We come back on bus. We go there on bus. The bus, if you don't have a bus in Israel, there's no way of getting around because they barely have a train station. And not many people have cars.
Mm-hmm.
And so the bus is the main transportation. And that's how a lot of people get around.
Mm-hmm. Where have you been so far besides Harnof?
We went to Ramat Rachel.
What is Ramat Rachel?
Is it? I think it's on the West Bank.
Mm-hmm. In the Shtachim in Yehuda.
We went to Ramat Rachel was where the kibbutz was. We didn't see the houses, or I think we just glanced at it. We just took a look at it, and we went there because it was hot. We went swimming there. And they had a slide, and they had a very big swimming pool. So we went there just for swimming because it was boiling hot, and we've done a lot of work, so we wanted to take a rest.
Want to show Bubby your pants?
Ah, Bubby, remember when you bought me these shorts? Oh, you want to look? Look at it.
Can fit another person in there, huh? Everybody's sort of trimmed down a bit. Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Hi again.
What's coming up in a few days here?
Rosh
Rosh
Hashanah.
Hashanah. Happy Rosh Hashanah, everybody.
Hashanah
Happy Rosh
Tova,
Hashanah, although by the
Umtuta.
time, you get this, it's going to be past Rosh Hashanah. It's going to be past everything. We just
Happy
started this
Rosh
tape,
Hashanah.
plus we have a whole entire tape to go.
Yeah, so we won't send it
And
in
the mailing.
Mm-hmm.
The weather here, it's very nice. It's not too
So,
hot.
yeah,
It's getting close to the winter, so it's not.
We're not getting anywhere near the winter. The winter would start in a couple of months, but the weather is definitely...
The weather's getting colder.
It's getting colder. It's like
At
a little
night,
fall.
at night.
It's getting fall.
Yes. In the day, it's hot. It's not
It's
so
not hot
now.
today. It's got
not,
delightful
no, now
breeze.
it's comfortable and
Beautiful
you get a
breeze.
breeze. But at night, it's
Bobby. Ay, 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 ay. What's happening? Whoa. Bobby. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. I want to see David. I want to see David.
I the V. Ay 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 ay. Wait, bye bye. Bye bye. Hey vey, hey vey, hey vey, hey. Ay 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 ay.
You should know that. All the song things, like you now know, ay, 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 ay. Listen to him now. Ay, 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 ay. Sing it, Duffy.
Lady, what did you do in school today?
Well, that's all. Well, a writing math teacher that we do math with, and also we have a coloring teacher, and we have recess, extra recess. First they have one recess after lunch, and then after lunch, by the third model, we have another recess. Every recess I go out and watch Zeb play.
What does that play?
Plays ball.
What kind of ball?
You kick the ball, someone throws at you, tries to get you. You jump up, whoa! So the ball must be like this, and if it doesn't miss you, take it, throw it. It's a softball, a little soft one that has hardly any ear. And when it's not doing it, then I just watch people play basketball.
What do? You don't play anything on your own? You just watch other people play?
Yeah, I do.
Anything else happen in school today?
What?
Anything else happen in school today?
Just to install
At the second recess. At recess, and I went out,
Mm-hmm.
we were playing ninja today. The guys stronger than me, I was not tough, but I didn't care. Not care because they could only go like this, and I go like this. I don't really kick them. Ow!
Did you have any assistance today? Did you work on your Hebrew today at all?
No, not Dad, stop it. Should I pick him up?
No, it's okay.
It's not. Correct. That's all we did today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's all. Stubby, stop licking me.
Lady, walk with Dubby. Hold him by the hand and show everybody how he's walking.
You want to see how Dubby walks? Yeah? Okay. He's a huggy.
He doesn't want to.
He does want to, I just can't hold his chin. Hey! Now you do that, David. Listen to him sing.
We think of getting a call from somebody and then they call. We think about somebody and then we bump into them. We look for something in the stores around the corner. Those are material sounding things, but it's just you feel Hashem very much here. The weather's been absolutely delightful. We're in a cool day. We've got the windows always open. I don't know if you can hear the noise from the outside, but that noise is brought in with a delightful breeze. In fact, we have a funny thing when you get cross breezes from the apartment, from all the different rooms, and very often the doors slam shut. So we bought door jams to try to keep them open, but the kids sometimes forget, and all of a sudden we'll be somewhere in the room and the door will slam shut. I went to Meir Sharim with Benny. Benny's been quite kind to us. Everyone's been very nice to us. Everyone, in general, has tremendous amount of hachnas sorchim here. Very nice with company and making people feel at home. We went to Meir Sharim, to different small stores where they manufacture on site different kinds of sukkahs. We looked into wooden sukkahs, which I think are too cumbersome and may not last as long, and metal sukkahs with canvas, which I think will last longer, and found that the sukkah will run us about $100 or 200 shekels for the metal part, and about another 200 shekels for the canvas, about another $100. Figure roughly about half, although there was a devaluation. We're getting the black market now about 216 or 217 to the dollar, and there are places all over. People in the area know where one gets their money changed. And it's a good thing to know. Down the block on Hakablan are Achim Geffen, the brothers Geffen. They run a hardware store, a little teeny hole in the wall, but besides that they also distributors for different plumbing related, house related items. They're selling sukkahs also. They've got their finger into everything. In town, in Harnof here, we've got 2 pizza places, 2 pizza places, 2 falafel places, 2 takeout stores, plus of course Ronnie has his business. There are several makolas, several small grocery stores for convenience, and of course they have this beautiful Super Soul, which is a good walk but an easy ride, and they deliver if you shop large. We do large shopping. Not only do we do a big shopping and they deliver, but also when you do a big shopping, they give you something at the end. Sometimes on Friday it might be a challah, and now it's Yontif, so they've been giving out davash, honey. It's just great being in the store and listening to them play Torah songs and having everybody wish you Shabbat Shalom, and meeting people in the community, shopping. The There is also a fruit stand here nearby, and at the mouth of Harnof there's a fruit stand. There are two pharmacies.
And right next to our school, exactly across the street, we have 4 stores in a row. The first store is a falafel shop and a pizza shop. And then next door there is also a pizza shop. And then next door there is like a more zone that sells chickens and meat. And then next door to that is a fruit store. And then next door to that is a small grocery. All in a row. 4 stores in a row, right exactly across the street from our school. So, after school they could just give us a list before we go to school, and then after school we could get everything. Because right 4 stores in a row, you have everything.
I like shopping in the shuk. I like to bargain with the people and go from stand to stand to find out where the prices are the best and to check over the merchandise. I love the smells of the shuk, the sound of the shuk. I'm not talking about the Arab shuk, I'm talking about Machne Yehuda, which is a Jewish shuk. We get into town, I get into town every day on errands. The kids don't get into town all that often. We've only been to the Kotel. Kids have been there twice. Fern's been there once with Chayabati, I went with them. And then I was there, I think, another time. The Kotel for me represents, whenever I miss a minyan and I can't find anything over here, the Kotel is constantly the center of minyanim. You can always get a minyan no matter what time. So I make use of that. As you see, the kids are happy. Our adjustment has been, Baruch Hashem, up till now, easier than we thought it would be. Everybody is adapted. I'm sure that once we get more into the communal aspects of the community here, even though it's not really a communal kind of community, but the different shurim, etc., we'll all meet even more friends and get close with people. Motzei Shabbos, we had 2 invitations to go with the Fiedlers. Moshe and Sarah Fiedler, who were on my pilot trip 2 years ago, called up and asked if we wanted to go to a shir and then slichos with them. And we got a call from Heshi and Menya Hanikman. Did we want to go to a shir in town and slichos with them? As it turns out, we were all a bit bent out of shape, so we stayed home. But Baruch Hashem, we're feeling better today. You're probably going to get a letter around the time of this arrival, which says how ill we were. We're all feeling much better, as you can see from the smiles on our face, and the fact that none of us are running to go to the bathroom, which yesterday there was a constant line and a constant revolving door of people going in and out. This morning we had Mordechai Chazon come in. He was one of the partners. He's American. He has a partner, Galili, and the third partner, sort of quiet, you don't get too much about it. It's called Chazon and Galili, I understand. The other fellow is also a partner. His name's Moshe. And he spoke with us about an apartment that he has available, a 4-bedroom apartment across the street, about 4 buildings to the right of Greta. It has a machzan, a storage area. On the other side of the kitchen is the kitchen. Then there's a little bit of a mirpeset, which is the utility balcony, and beyond that is this mirpeset. This machzan, the storage area, which has access on this common hall. Now, we were thinking of doing is possibly getting that and connecting, enlarging the kitchen a bit, and then having the machzan being a den, 5th guest bedroom, library, homework room. So we would have 5 bedrooms, or the salon, the living room, dining room area, large living room, dining area, kitchen. These 4 bedrooms and that additional 5th, and 2 mirpesot, one which is double the size of what we have here, and the other one which is about 3 times the size, which is great. One mirpesot is off of a couple of the bedrooms. The second mirpesot is off of the mirpesot's balcony, is off of the living room. A large mirpesot, and that mirpesot is very important, since most of the year the weather is lovely. Even the rainy season, it does not rain every day, and it does not rain for a whole day. There's plenty of time where one can be out on the balcony, reading, learning, playing, talking with friends, congregating, and it's additional space. So here we're dealing, and the we're in now is about 130 meters, 130 square meters without the Merkosot. That would be 125 plus maybe another 25 for the additional room, and then the large Merkosot. We're going to see that tomorrow. We're not making any commitments, but it is a good possibility for us. Fern isn't sure yet if Harnof is the place for her. I don't know if it's the place for us. It's not the communal feeling that you get in Far Rockaway. There's a lot that we miss here, the communal aspect of living, but you can find that in areas like Bayit Vagan, I understand. There are many places to daven, but there are only 2 or 3 shuls. The rest are minyanim in miklats, in bomb shelters. Doesn't sound too glorious. Or else they're minyanim in people's homes, rabbis, or people looking for deduction, or people looking for the convenience. I don't really know what the rationale is. There are many people that have minyanim in their salons, in their living room, dining room area, and they bought 2 apartments and connected them together, leaving that section for davening, some of whom have made yeshivas there. Most of the places we see have plenty of room during the week, and unfortunately on Shabbos and Yom Tov are very, very crowded. There are some empty seats. You think they're empty, you go to sit down, and they're reserving it for somebody who's not there, or else somebody comes in and says, this is my fixed place, can we please find another place to sit? So that's a little bit disconcerting. I'm sure that they will be building more shuls here, but for the time being, it's a big crowd at Shabbos and Yom Tov. We'd like to have the children sit with us so we can keep them on the toe, make sure they're davening properly, set a good example for them, and we can see what's going on. The davening here in general is very nice. People here do not, as a rule, daven quickly. They understand what they're saying, so there's a little bit more kavanah, and there's some places which particularly fine pace. Pachad Yitzchak, the kids can't stand it, that they daven Shema and Shema Esrei so slowly, but for me it's great, I love it. And there are other places like that. It shows that the depth of the Torah and the commitment to Torah is very strong. Anything else to say? We miss you. While there are many things that we miss of material nature that we don't miss all that much, it would be fun to watch a movie. It would be fun to grab the car and go off somewhere. But those things we can do without quite nicely. What we can't do without is you. We love hearing your voice. We all wait for that phone call where you're on the phone. We're aware that we're spending a tremendous amount of time with you on the phone. Those calls must be very costly. If we total it up at the end of the year, it may pay that you just move here, and that may wind up being cheaper. I've been writing as much as we can. Maybe we're writing too much, maybe we're calling too much. Now that things are down to regular pace, perhaps we need not call so much, even though we love to hear your voice, but it is costly. We do know that, we're aware of that, and we'd like you to save your money for constructive things like coming to visit and seeing us here. The kids, almost every day want to know when you're coming. That's Mommy, and they would like Grandma to come. They would certainly like Sharon and Lizzie and the kids, and Ginny and Shasha. We're always envious when we bump into people here that have. I was on Shabbos shopping at Super Soul, and I saw 2 girls who were identical twins, practically identical. One was pregnant, one wasn't, and they looked one of them looked familiar, or both of them looked familiar, but I didn't know which one looked familiar, and we went over to strike up a conversation, and it was Zaycon from Far Rockaway. I davened with her husband, Nachman, in Rabbi Blue and Krantz's. She moved here, and now her sister's here for a year trying out, and they live not far from one another. They shop together, they go to shiurim together. It's so nice. Whenever we hear of family being together here, we're quite jealous. While we do have right across the street Benny and Dina and Naomi and Ronnie and Rifki and Andy, and we're close with them, and we're getting closer with them as we establish common experiences together. They're not you. They are an addition to, not a substitute for you in any way, shape, or form. And we miss you very, very much.
You're gonna come.
question. Every time I'm writing a letter, Levi comes over and says, when are you coming over? If you want to know why I'm scratching, I had a haircut today and I haven't had a chance to shower. The kids have showered so that they don't feel so itchy, but I'm scratching around because I've got the hair all over. Tell you a few experiences that I think I've written about that maybe we'll tell about in person. I remember the first time where Fern and I went to Kapat Cholim, the medical service, to get registered. We found out that you, well, I'm telling you on, in case there are other people who haven't heard it, they'll be seeing this tape. We went to Miuchedet, which is supposed to be one of the better Kapat Cholims. We go up there, we're sitting and we're waiting in the lobby, the entrance hall there, to be taken by a secretary of Akidah, and the line is not moving. There are 2 or 3 girls sitting in front of computers drinking coffee. So things close here at 12, 12:30. We have to go from one agency to the other, and we try very much to get as much done as we possibly can. They do as much as they can to frustrate you so you can get as few things done as you possibly can. The girls would not take us until they finished their coffee. Why they all took their coffee break at the same time is beyond me. But at any rate, they finally took us, took down the information, put it into the computer. Then we had to go for questions by a physician and a possible examination if they felt that the examination was warranted. We waited in another area. Several people went ahead of us. It was finally our turn. The woman was a big battle axe. She looked like a Nazi German, blonde hair. She's Jewish. We sat down. The Tudat Oleh, the Oleh certificate, is in Fern's name, as you all may remember. My children and I are considered Israeli, and we have Tudat Zahuts, and not we have identity cards, and not Tudat Oleh, not Oleh certificates. So it's in Fern's name, and everything that we do really has to be signed in Fern's name, or it did at that point in time. The woman starts asking Fern questions, and then she turns to me to ask me questions, calling me Aaron. Well, what I hadn't noticed is that at the airport, when we met the local immigrant and absorption department people, they put my name down as Aaron, retired, not Abraham, and therefore this woman wanted to speak with Aaron and would not speak with Abraham. I provided her with many means of identification. I was in fact Abraham, but I did not have a marriage certificate, and therefore she still thought that Fern was married to Aaron. She said we had to get the name changed and proved with a stamp. Everything is proved with a stamp, somebody's signature, some pakid, pikida, some clerk who's given this tremendous authority. And we're sent to room 210 in the Misrad HaKlita, which is about 3/4 of a mile away, all up and down hills. We ran there aware of the time, and on the way out we noticed that the doctor was talking to the secretary. We didn't know what was said at that point in time. We went to room 210 to see Rivka. Rivka said she doesn't metatel in that, she's not involved with that. She sent us to the 3rd floor to Naomi. Naomi on the 3rd floor said she does not involve herself with that. They sent us down to the 2nd floor. We're getting the old bureaucratic runaround, and we're ready to move back to America, which I'm sure would have made you all, or some of you, happy. But we're trying to maintain a good sense of humor. We finally, our last-ditch effort, we tried somebody who was sort of curiously looking at us. She motioned us over. We went over. She said, Ken, ma bayam, ma tatzarich, what's the trouble? What do you need? We said, this thing is wrong. I'm not Aaron, I'm Abraham. She says, Ein bayah, it's not a problem. She crosses out Aaron. She writes down Abraham. She takes the stamp, stamps it, and then we were set. We went back to see this doctor, but we were stopped by the secretary who advised us that the doctor said that I was too heavy. Of course, she didn't see me a few weeks after we're here. And she said anybody that heavy has to be sick, and therefore would not be able to pass Miuchedet. The woman, the secretary, was very kind and sent us to another fellow, another doctor. We waited for him. He had one patient and a girlfriend, I think it was a girlfriend or a friend, and then called us in, said, Manashma, we said, fine, how are you? He said, Baruch Hashem. He says, I understand you're Olim. We said, yes, we're Olim. He said, I was an Oled 10 years ago. He asked us, how do we feel? We said, great. And he stamped and signed, and we're in Miyuchedet. So that was it. It's not what you know, but who you know. Getting back to that initial airport meeting, we were there. We were the only Americans. The Russians come in the evening. We're the only Olim. And there were 4 or 5 people working for the immigration and absorption department at the airport. However, of the 4 or 5, only one of them knew how to do the computer. So all 4 would gather around the one who knew how to work the computer. And they asked us different questions, and certain things were wrong, like the kids' names. We had to perpetuate those wrong names because that's another office, that's the Misrat HaPanim, the Ministry of the Interior. The names are wrong. Well, not everybody's name. Zev Nata is Zev Nach. Elon Meir is Eon Meir. Batya is Eov Batya. And Dobuler was spelled Dobuler. So I want to change that a little bit, even though it sounds French. At any rate, they did it wrong. 4 people watching, the 5th person, only one of them with any semblance of competence, and even there misspelled the name that had to be done. Every time you do something, they take your 2.ole, they take your passports, they take any documentation that they need, and they hold it, and you have to pick it up a week later. So you can't really get all of your tasks done in a repetitive fashion one day after the other. You've got to do something, lose a week, and then get back. I went for the tuition, not the tuition, but the book reimbursement. We spent about 900 some odd shekel, which is about $450 for books, school books for the kids. And we get paid back, I think, 150 shekels each per person. But it has to be filed for. So you go to the Misrat HaKlita, you leave your 2.ole, they fill out the form, and they tell you to come back the week. I came back the week, I was on a tremendous line. The lines there are tremendous, although not all that tremendous for the Americans. For the Russians, they're humongous, and they wrap around the Misrat HaKlita. Our desk, the American desk, is being handled in conjunction with a Spanish-speaking desk. This woman, Clary, who speaks Spanish and a bit of English, is handling the American, the Anglo-Olim. And I saw her several times. She went out for coffee and cake and for other breaks. And I said, do I have to wait here? Is this where I have to go for my tuition reimbursement and for my 2.ole? And she said, yes. So I waited. I was there for about 2.5 hours. When I finally sat down by her, she was finishing up her coffee. And she said, what are you doing here? I said, well, I'm here for my 2.ole, and I'm here for the tuition, the book reimbursement. She said, you didn't have to come up here. You just had to go down to the bursar, the kupak, the cashier. So I did. And 2 seconds I was out, and I could have been out in 2 seconds, but she made me wait for 2.5 hours. Then I went to the Misrat HaPanim to get the kid's name changed, and also to get an Ishur Neshek, gun permit. I took a number, I was 817, they were up to 600, quite a bit of people ahead. I tried to go through the forms as best as possible. My ability to speak Hebrew is much superior to my ability to read particularly technical words. And when I finally get to 817, winds up that the firm had to be there also to change the kids' names, that I shouldn't want to change their names to a certain name, and that she would be in disagreement. So all that waiting was done for nothing. We'll know better for next time. The Yeshur Neshek is a little bit more complicated. They made it a little bit more difficult. There used to be an address. If you live in the Shtachim, there's no problem getting a Neshek, getting arms. If you live here, a little bit more difficult, although it should really be the same. There was an address that the Kach members all used to use, but now they require you to bring proof that you live there, a lease, which is no problem. You can always get a lease. You also need a certificate from the Iriyah, from the municipality of that township in the Shtachim, that you live there, and also a letter from the military government. So we're trying to figure out how to do that. I'm sure there are ways, and we will. but it's just more bureaucratic red tape. I got my first payment for not working yet. It was 888 shekel, about $444, which was great. I don't know if I'm going to make so much working. I also am waiting. I don't think we got our the Tuach Umi check, which is not for me, but rather for having children. Every child get a certain amount of payment. The Arabs get tremendous amount of payments because they have tremendously large families. I still have to register for the subsidy for the apartment, which is, I think, 350 shekel, about $175. I'm not exactly sure. I got the first part done, which is putting stamps on your lease. Why I have to put stamps on there is beyond me. It's sort of like a tax. It was 65 shekel, which is about 32.50 in American dollars. And now I have got to take that to one of several banks that are involved with that, but I need my Dobuler. I don't have that. It's in Haifa, where I was, having dropped it off for the customs when they bring in their shipping. We won't get that for several weeks now. I also needed Fern. I was online. I needed Fern. I needed a marriage certificate. I asked them if I could bring the children as proof that we were married. They said no. It's got to be the marriage certificate. We have Visa cards in Hebrew. There's no charge, no interest charges. A small charge of about 20 shekels, about $10 a year for having cards. You need those cards to check your balances at the bank rather than waiting online to check it any machine that any of the branches have. And you can also withdraw money when banks are closed. The banks have very short hours here. Several days a week they're only open in the morning, and the other times they're open in the morning, then they close for a while, and then they open for a little bit in the afternoon. Great job. I wouldn't mind working in banking and having those hours and learning in between and going swimming with the children. Haven't had as many crazy bureaucratic stories as we thought that we would. Of course, we haven't finished with all the bureaucratic ministries we have to go to. Also have to register with the Lishkat Avodah. They're supposed to help find us jobs, and if you don't register with them, you don't get your next monthly unemployment check. So hopefully I'll get my $2 back from the Haifa Customs Office. The ride to Haifa was about a 2-hour ride. It's very pleasant. It gave me a chance to see different topography. You get used to being in the up and down hills of Yerushalayim. You forget that much of Israel is flat, particularly all along the coastal line. We're reading a couple of very interesting studies besides learning Torah on Israel giving back the West Bank and Gaza. Of course, there's the Jaffe Institute, which is left-wing, and colors their information to fit their political beliefs, which is leftist. And there are a couple of other organizations. It's just amazing to think that anybody would ask Israel to give back the Shtachim, to lengthen the borders in an irregular fashion instead of the natural line of the Jordan River, to not have the strategic depth, the width between, as a buffer, so that Israel's cities aren't under artillery or missile fire. It's amazing that in 5 minutes one can get from Jordan to the Tel Aviv coastline in a jet, which is no warning time at all to scramble the jets. The argument that 1967 borders were defensible, look how well we did, no longer hold true today, because number one, the missile systems are better and longer range and more exact. Number two, the amount of armaments that everyone has is quadrupled, and the confrontation states are being augmented by parameter states that have participated but now have greater capability to participate, i.e. Iraq. We were hoping that there would be a war with the United States and Iraq. We would like, from our perspective here, that Iraq's capability to make war, particularly to utilize their non-conventional biological and germ warfare, should be wiped out in total. But it looks like as time goes on, it will be more and more difficult for America to accomplish that, and it seems they'll be leaning more towards negotiated settlement, which does not leave Israel in a tremendous position. This latest news today, we're isolated geographically, so Israelis are very notorious in following the news. We listen to it regularly on the radio. Our shortwave radio also brings us BBC, British Broadcasting News, as well as VOA, the Voice of America. And there's Kol Israel, which comes in many languages, including English. So we listen to the news several times a day. And of course, the kids will run out in the morning to get the Jerusalem Post daily and the Jewish Press on a weekly basis. The Jerusalem Post is now 2 shekels and 20 agarot, which is $1.10. Quite expensive considering you pay 40 cents in the New York Times and you really get your money's worth. But it's an important part of our existence here to know what's doing. Even though the news is sparse about world events, it does have a little paragraph about the Mets. It lets us know what's going on in the world, and certainly lets us know about what's going on vis-a-vis Israel. Fern made a delicious meal Shabbos, but we were all sick, so we didn't indulge in too much of it, unfortunately. Anybody else have anything you want to say? Lady, raising your fingers. You can go and look through it. Okay, we're going to sign off for now. Chaibati will be home a little bit later, and the email will be back for shopping. So we'll maybe shoot something then. Take care. Shana Tova Tukash, be a good year, a prosperous year, a healthy year for us all. A year where, when we say B'Shana Haba B'Yushalayim, that we mean it, we can all be together here, because it's just a natural feeling. You love it, we love it, and it's home. And we should be at least as Mesiras Nefesh as the Arabs are in what they're doing. Baruch Hashem has been very quiet. The Intifada is slowed down quite a bit, partially because Saddam Hussein has been taking away the publicity, and then the ones who took away the publicity from them, that made it die down. And then there's some different policy changes that Aarons has instituted that's also made the Intifada die down a bit. Also, it's been very difficult economically for them to sustain what they had to sustain.
Wait.
Yes.
Something to say? Pachat Yitzchak, which is just down the block, a kid in my class from America, Avrami David, it's his uncle, his first uncle. And on this block on Kaplan, we have almost everyone in our class who lives on this street. In my class, in Yolan's class, in Leib's class, not everyone. A lot of kids, and also on other streets that are close by. And we have a ton of friends right over here. It's very good. And my Hebrew isn't, it's not like I know Hebrew, but I know a couple of words, and I could, and in school, if my Rebbe talks Hebrew, so I don't understand what he says, but every couple of words I could, you don't have to understand every word. Out of 10 words, if he says 5, I understand what he's trying to get at.
Building all around, that's the building that we took a look at, the Chazonu's building, but it was really ugly, not for us. This has an interesting design, although the Pesot are very small, but that's all sold out already. You see on top of the roofs, there are what we call dud shemeshes. It's a solar heating for the water, that's a hot water tank. If it's the evening and there's not enough hot water, you can always use an electric heating element that you turn on from your bathroom. That fellow across the way already has the outline of the sukkah up. He has a wooden sukkah. We're going to be looking for metal, which should be more flexible in terms of changing sizes, smaller to pack up, and last longer. Living on the 6th floors, the ability to go upstairs to the roof and to use the roof facility as a merpeset as they have. Next door there's quite a nice sized merpeset, and they've even put up a basketball hoop for basketball, which is nice. Of course, if you miss rebounding a ball, it goes all the way down 6 flights. That's Bir David. We took a look at some apartments there in February, but it was nothing for us. They tried to make the porches that there's a little section for kosher sukkah. You see the top has a small sukkah area, small merpeset. The next level down has a little bit larger, but only part of it is kosher, and so on and so forth. Interesting design. Unfortunately, you don't get too much kosher sukkah room. School, go along the road down below. They take the bus either to the left going or to the right up the hill coming, and that lets them off approximately over there, where they walk up quite a lot of steps. You're walking up a mountain, and from here, in that steps, they walk down the block to our apartment. This bottom apartment right underneath us is Frucht Handler, I believe, who is making cotton candy at Rosh Hashanah. This is September 18th, 2 days before Rosh Hashanah. Elon is sewing his pants. The typical Israeli scene, preparations for Rosh Hashanah. You'd never see this back in America. Elon lost the monthly ticket today, 49 shekels, because it went through a hole in the pants. We may or may not get it back. It does have our name on there. It does not have our address or phone number on it, which is a lesson we've learned. In the meantime, he's sewing his pants. It does not fall through again. How do you like sewing, Ilani?
It's fun, but it's also slow. Like if you want to make something Latin, it's going to take a long time.
Uh-huh.
I finished.
Is Levi, whose job right now is sweeping the kitchen.
Up away, Lev.
Well, hard. After all I have to do is clean up dirt. I mean, all you do is go and stop, and stop.
While you're seeing moving pictures, you're not feeling the cool breeze blow through the house, through the open windows and doors. And what is this? What do we have here? I've got to go around for a better angle.
Making knedla.
What? Zevi is making knedla. We'll let you know, Rosh Hashanah, what the result is. He swears he washed his hands with soap. Now, I forget if he said he rinsed his hands with the soap or he left the soap on before he made the knedla. We'll find out. Tune in soon. And there's Ima. Ima, what are you doing?
My favorite task, cleaning chickens.
Oh, great.
Yes. Let's
What?
see. Thus far today, I have made stuffed cabbage, which is in the pot next to the knedla. A big pot of chicken soup. Zevi's making the knedla. I made an apple noodle kugel. And now I am preparing the chickens. And after I prepare the chickens, I am going to make a carrot cake.
It's very simple. All you have to do is you get the stuff, put in your hands, then you make it, mush it, you make it round, then when it's round, then just take it and drop it in. So when you drop it in, it stops getting round.
No, we're not making falafels.
You see, when you try and put it in, when it's round, you drop it off and it sticks to your hand, so it becomes a
Why don't
different
you just
shape.
stick your hand in?
What?
Debbie commented that the color is much darker than the Knedler that we're used to. That's right. That must be because the matzo meal, I guess, is a little bit of a different color.
No, what I mentioned was, someone's gonna say, oh, the Knedler look darker, so then Fati was gonna say, well, maybe Zev didn't wash his hands.
By being quiet right now, which is the best thing he could do. Debbie's always quiet when he has a cookie.
Hello everybody, I'm preparing for Rosh Hashanah, peeling the carrots. Well, I don't feel so well, so I can't do the other work, but here, I'm doing it.
How many carrots did you peel?
I don't know, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Count in
6,
Hebrew.
7, no. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
We get the message.